Guys, it's 8 p.m. on a Sunday. I'm hungover, I'm tired. This is my second shoot of the day. There's a ton of dishes to do, and I might get arrested for missing curfew. But I don't care about any of that, because I have a hot plate of happiness right here. This video isn't going to be me making some weird vegan version of something. I just thought for the people watching who are intimidated by risotto, I thought I'd give you my foolproof way of making risotto, and I'm a fool, so if I can make it, anyone can make it. So the first thing we're going to do is make some caramelized red onions. How we do that is we slice up a bunch of red onions. I've got 6 medium ones here, and then we're going to put them in a small saucepan with some butter and salt. So you're going to cook this for about 20 to 30 minutes covered on a very low heat. Let it do its thing, stir it occasionally, but it should eventually become a nice dark brown caramelized onion. Okay, so this next part is what really elevates this mushroom risotto. I've got a bunch of slightly more exotic mushrooms than your normal white or brown mushrooms. So I've got some shimeji mushrooms. Don't quote me on that. I'll put the text on screen. Some shiitakes and some of your big brown flat mushrooms. What I'm going to do with these is fry these separately before we start making the risotto and add some extra flavors and then get them really crispy and really dark and delicious. And then we use these as a topping later. These are all sliced up. I didn't slice them very fine. I kept them as mushrooms because we want them to look like mushrooms on top of the risotto. I'm going to throw these in a pan with some butter. I'm going to add a couple glugs of soy sauce just to add a bit of extra umami flavor. Umami. And then I'm going to add like half a teaspoon of cayenne, a teaspoon of paprika, and a teaspoon of dry origanum. And we want to cook these at quite a high heat because we want to get them nice and crispy. So I'm happy with these now. I'm going to transfer them to a plate with paper towel on just to help them dry out. So the foolproof part of this recipe is getting the correct ratio of rice to stock. Firstly, the rice we use is arborio rice. In most shops, it's labeled as risotto rice, so you can't really go wrong. The ratio I've found that works for me is 1.5 cups of rice to 6 cups of stock. Let's talk about stocks. In financial news, the JSE is up 1%, the Nasdaq is down 5%, and Bitcoin is that thing your annoying friend who vapes always wants to talk about. Thank you. Back to you, other Alex. What the f*** was that? I meant let's talk about vegetable stock. Okay, so in terms of stock, I'm obviously using veg stock. I like using a liquid stock. I find it's cleaner. I often find with the powdered stocks, you get like weird little chunks of dehydrated carrot, and you don't want that in your beautiful risotto. I've added our stock to the pot and I'm going to heat it up now. It's important that we add hot stock to the risotto later so it doesn't bring down the temperature of the rice while we're cooking it. Okay, my little angels, we're almost ready to cook this risotto. We just have to prep a few more aromatics. I've got about 400 grams of just normal white button mushrooms, I think. I chopped them quite finely because we kind of want everything in the risotto to be a similar size to the grains of rice for a more like smooth eating experience, and then we have those added crispy mushrooms afterwards to add variety. And then I've also got 3 cloves of garlic. Jesus. I've also got 3 cloves of garlic finely chopped. A little pro tip to avoid crying while chopping onions is just to not get emotionally attached to the onion. We're finally ready to go. We've got a lot of stuff here. We've got our hot stock in this pot. You'll need a ladle at hand to scoop ladles of stock into the rice. First step is we're going to add some olive oil to the pan and add the onions. And we're going to cook them just till they're translucent, not till they get color or caramelized. We're going to add some salt and pepper to the onions because seasoning and layers is my thing. Okay, then I'm going to go in with the 3 chopped cloves of garlic. 400 grams of diced mushrooms. Okay, so we're just going to let these mushrooms cook down until they're golden brown, probably a couple minutes. I'm just going to add like a teaspoon of dried origanum. I'm just going to add some fresh thyme straight off the stem. These mushrooms are looking and smelling absolutely amazing. So we're going to add the rice now. We just want it to start smelling fragrant. We don't want it to burn. We don't want to cook it too long. Probably like a minute or 2. It'll be a nice toasty smell. Now we're going to add about 1/4 to half a glass of white wine. This is too good to be cooking with, but here we go. So that wine will just deglaze the pan, anything that's sticking, and you must just cook it until you no longer smell the alcohol smell on it. Okay, so the alcohol is cooked off. Now it's time to settle in and start adding stock. So I'm going to add 2 ladles at first, which I think is about a cup of stock, because it's our first round, so we want more liquid. And then the theory is, as the rice absorbs the stock, just add another half ladle. Patience is a virtue here, so settle in. Just keep stirring. Make sure all the rice is coated with stock. I like to do like figure of 8 type stirring. So yeah, here it's looking a bit dry now, so I'm going to go in with about another ladle. And stir it in, let it absorb. People are often intimidated by risotto because of the time it takes, but I love that. I find it meditative and relaxing. You just sort of zone out, keep adding stock, stir for a bit, think about life. Yeah, for me it's almost like hypnotic.
Look deep into the risotto.
Look deep into the risotto.
You will like, subscribe and comment like Jeremy Moyle.
I will like, subscribe and comment like Jeremy Moyle. Oh, what was that? Oh shit, I gotta add more stock. Yeah, so like I was saying, you just want to keep adding ladles of stock every time it absorbs it. Just like, yeah, just sort of enjoy the time, relax, just keep stirring. Yeah, like everything's normal. So I'm pretty much happy with where this is at. 2 ways of telling that it's ready. One, if you drag your spoon through the risotto and it slowly closes the gap. The other way of knowing if it's ready is the ratio of 1.5 cups to 6 cups of stock. If you're out of stock, you should be good because the ratio is foolproof. I'm going to stir the caramelized onions through now. The caramelized onion almost melts into this. It's a thing of beauty. I'm going to turn off the heat and I'm going to add about a 1/2 cup of parmigiano. So this is looking ready to go. It's looking absolutely amazing. I'm going to plate it up. I'm going to add those fried mushrooms we did on top, some fresh diced parsley, and a bit more parmesan because there's no such thing as too much parmesan. God damn. This is my favorite meal to cook, and it's my favorite meal to eat. It's so good. It's so comforting, warm. It's like a belly hug. The addition of the caramelized onion, I think that was Tessa's idea, genius. It just adds a sweetness to it. It's not what you expect from a normal mushroom risotto. So there's the sweet of the caramelized onion and the creaminess of the risotto, and then you get that hit of crispy mushrooms with the soy sauce. I've used this term in the past, but this really is a labor of love. Make this for someone you care about, because it'll show them you care. Even if that person's yourself. Self-care is important nowadays, guys. Like, this year fucking sucks. So make good food, eat good food. It'll bring you joy. It'll bring joy to those around you. Wow, I'm really profound when I'm tired. Yeah, I mean, a good risotto speaks for itself, so I hope the recipe makes it easier for you to make a risotto and makes you want to make a risotto. Yeah, so you know the drill. If you make it at home, tag me on Instagram at FlavorSims. Like and subscribe and leave a comment. And yeah, keep cooking. And take care of yourselves, guys. Kisses.